if there are any, and then we can bring this whole meeting to an end under an hour. So help me God. So officially, you are welcome to this presentation, this Friday team call. We are here talking about Shadow's Claw. Now, Shadow's Claw is a very, very decent protocol that is being built. I'm saying it is being built because it is work in progress. There are different aspects of this whole ecosystem being put together for the long-term sustainability of each dream and the entire platform. And this whole ecosystem can be quantified into, or can be grouped into, three strong pillars, or what we call layers. The first layer has to do with the economic layer. And then we also talk about the execution layer and then the application layer. All these things called layers are actually all different types of revenue sources that can be put together to create what we call a complete loop for long-term sustainability. How do we mean? Let's talk about the first layer, which has to do with the Olympus DAO model. Now, the Olympus DAO itself is a name, it's a name of a project. This project came to champion the idea of protocol-owned liquidity, what we call the POL. Their concept was very different. They used different approach to providing what we call liquidity to their platform. Prior to their existence, crypto projects do come, and when they come, they mostly come with their own tokens. And when these tokens are launched, for you to interact or for you to engage with them, you realize that in most cases, you swap your USDT or your BNB or any other thing to these tokens, or you acquire these tokens in order to participate in these platforms. And at the end of the day, when you make returns, you also want to sell these tokens back to your original or your traditional USDT to cash out. And there are a group of people who stand between you and this platform to ensure that these trade activities are possible. They set aside their money to ensure that buying and selling of these tokens are made possible seamlessly, without too much volatility. This group of people are called liquidity providers, right? These liquidity providers under normal circumstances are not owners of these tokens. They are not owners of the market. They are not owners of these programs. All they are doing is that when you launch a token that they believe would attract a lot of users, they set up their station, or they open a bank that allows trading activities. And then while they do that, at the end of the day, they benefit from the fees that are generated from these activities, right? So they are business institutions or businessmen who position themselves to just take advantages of the revenue that comes from providing liquidity to these tokens. But what normally happens along the way is very simple. Due to competition, you realize that certain tokens, when they launch, they put in certain clauses or certain tax. Some will not even put tax at all, but they will set aside extra token to give as reward to whoever is providing liquidity. So these businessmen, they normally look out for some of these things to be able to maximize their earnings, through these activities. So let's say Jerry launched a token, and when I launched the token, they realized that this token is of public interest. A lot of people are interested in buying and selling. So they open their liquidity pool, or they put their money into the pool to support trading of this token. Each time this activity goes on, they make money, like I said earlier. But when I am doing well, then you have Lion King coming up with his own token and say, well, we all know when you provide liquidity on the PancakeSwap or on the decentralized exchanges, you naturally earn fees. right? But in my token, anybody who provides liquidity will also receive extra 1% of the sell fee or the sell tax on my token. Now that becomes extra revenue to these guys, and you realize that normally they will move their funds from the liquidity pool they are providing to my token, and then rather move it to Lion King's token. So that aside the fees, which is revenue to them, they will also earn that extra 1%. So due to competition and all this changing trading environment and trading volume, they traditionally move their funds around to where they feel they can get business to do. Now, when they move these funds from these tokens, you realize that these tokens become very, very volatile to the market. Least activities, fluctuate the price of the token. You see the token go up due to some small buy, and then it goes down due to some small sell. And at the end of the day, when you don't have liquidity back in this token, those who understand what it means will know when and how to jump out to avoid, losing their money. You can have a token any amount at all. If there's no money in the liquidity, you can't, it's worthless, it's useless, because it is that money that you normally convert these tokens into. So if the money that is supposed to come to you as exchange is not available, is not in a balance, your token you are holding becomes useless. So when that happens, you see a lot of people panic. They sell these tokens off behind the scenes, and then you see this token crashing down to zero. So a lot of genuine projects in the past have suffered from these things. These are external causes that have nothing to do with their project. But for the fact that these tokens are not able to sustain their trading activities on the market, it eventually crashes their ecosystem. Investors like you and I, we lose, right? So when the idea of Olympus DAO came in being, they were like, okay, fair enough. What if we flip the coin? Let's change the narrative. Rather than waiting for external people who have no interest in our project to be the liquidity providers who are definitely going to make so much money, because what we are building, we believe a lot of crypto traders or crypto community will be interested in engaging with us. Let's rather give this opportunity to our people. What if we own the liquidity pool, so that we are not just stakeholders in a protocol, but we are also the same bankers of this same protocol, so that these fees that not naturally go to these external liquidity providers would rather come in as revenue to our community members who are willing to be part of the process. What's happened? They have successfully been able to use that model as their main economic model to be able to handsomely reward people who stake their USDT in a form of providing liquidity. And they've been able to do that successfully for 6 years now. So they champion this cause and prove to everybody that, look, it is possible to be your own liquidity provider. It is also possible to create an entire economy around these activities and use the proceeds from that to rather enhance the livelihood or the earning potentials of your community members. And for 6 years, it's been very successful. After that success was achieved, a lot of protocols also had to emulate. That's one very beautiful thing about blockchain anyway. Immediately success is achieved, immediately there's a breakthrough, right? You realize that developers like to build upon it, just like the story of Bitcoin. When Bitcoin came to being, those of you who were there earlier, I keep using Dr. Consti because he has been with me right from the beginning of this journey. And the other day on our call, I was telling you, I remember the days where you can even do BTC transactions that would take 2 weeks to confirm. The network can be so congested, especially during rush hour when price is very volatile. You can send money to somebody through BTC, and it could take 1 week, 2 weeks to confirm, right? That doesn't mean the Bitcoin or the Genesis blockchain wasn't effective. It was just the whole success story about being the first token or being the first crypto, and then scaling it through the whole story was a very successful achievement. But guess what? Other developers decided that, okay, if we are to push this crypto agenda to everybody, then we are here to make your success story reality by creating other blockchains that will rather use maybe lighter block sizes to ensure that transactions are confirmed earlier. We want to improve this side, we want to improve that side. Out of that, today we have reached a certain area where speed has become one of the tools we use in measuring which network to use for our transaction. Today, if I want to send you money using USDT, I am torn between which one goes fast and cheap. It is out of these improvements that we are enjoying all these things, and it hasn't been the case of instant transfer like in the past. So when these guys achieved this success, other developers saw some of the bats attached to it, right? There's always bats. Oh, Jerry would have been a very good presenter, but there's always bats attached to every good success story. So at the end of the day, they decided to improve upon those bats on the Olympus DAO protocol. And guess what? All those protocols, many of them, some of you are aware of, have been also doing very well in the last 4 or 5 years now. Right? They have been doing well. They have been using this economic model successfully to transform lives of many. So many ordinary people's lifestyle has been made extraordinary just by being part of this movement in these protocols, right? You have a story of even some of these protocols giving as high as 60x of your stake in a year, and they've been able to sustain it, not for just 1 month, not for 2 months or 3 months to vanish like all these mushroom programs have been doing to us. But they have found this model that is self-sustainable. And despite several years of operating, you still look at their liquidity pool and you see millions of dollars still stuck up in there, just waiting for anybody to swap. And that is the level of success stories we have achieved with this kind of protocol. And then the latest of all these as means of improving upon the success stories of what have already been achieved is Shadow's Claw. So Shadow's Claw came and said, first of all, this whole ecosystem that I just talked to you about, the idea of using liquidity provision and then using the protocol own liquidity aspect just to maintain this model, and that has proven to be very successful, is good. We like it, we are adopting it. However, we feel that we should also add other sources of revenue to even make it richer and more long-lasting than it has been in the past. And one thing they said from the beginning that I keep reminding myself every day is that they said the original Olympus DAO protocol, which is about 6 years old, they want to outlive this protocol. The funny part is that the people they want to outlive are still alive. They are still alive. Next year, they will be 7 years. The other day, they will be 8 years, and then it keeps going. The people are still in business, and then you have somebody coming up and say, I want to live longer than these guys are living. And so let me put in things that will make it even richer, proving systems, proving models that can generate enough revenue to add up to ensure that when the system promises you something, it is not just a man promising you something, but it is based on logic, it is based on proof, it is based on real economic activity. So they decided to also add what they call their AI agent. Now, this AI agent alone is another economy on its own. In fact, there are programs that are built around AI agents alone, right? You know, most of these AI agents, they don't have any other sources of revenue or anything. All they do is they design these kind of AIs. Then people deploy this AI by paying for them. So these AI agents have what it takes to read markets. You know, we live in a world where everything is news, is moved and controlled by news. The crypto prices you see on your screen, whether BTC will go up or down, whether gold price will go up or down, whether oil, you know, crude will go up or down, depends on the kind of headline news you see in the morning. For instance, the moment last week there was fresh announcement that, hey, Iran and US are up again, throwing things at each other. We also saw the U-turn made by crude oil just when it was beginning to recover, going down because they thought agreement was in place. The moment White House said, okay, we're going to pounce them until we come back to the table and have agreement, you saw that prices began to soar again. This is the world in which we are. Any little thing you see on your news has what it takes to influence the direction of the market. But the big question I want to ask you tonight is, how many times do you even take time to properly analyze this news and even see a trend? Mostly traders, you don't have the time, and you can't even multitask. Even if you have time enough, 24 hours is not enough for you to even monitor all these happenings. Guess what? This has paved way to the AI industry to boom, where people are creating smart AIs whose job is to monitor all these developments and properly advise you on how market is going. They are able to detect trends even before they become obvious, right? So there's crazy demand of these AI agents, and a lot of protocols or a lot of programs are just built around this economy alone. Why do I call it economy? If this AI agents proves to be very successful, you see people willing to pay for it and then use them for their personal, trading activities. You agree with me? Take Zoom, for instance. Zoom has become one of those effective meeting tools. It makes life easier for presenters like me to come here on every Friday evening to have a chat with you in a comfortable manner, environment I am so much comfortable with. So what happens? I pay for these Zoom services every month, right? I pay to be able to use their service because I know it is delivering value to what I want to do, right? The same way when these AI agents are doing perfectly well, you see a lot of people acquiring these AI agents and then willing to pay it to do the job for them. Now, these AI agents, like I said, are not just able to analyze this market alone. The sort of AI agents we have here is even able to execute trades on your behalf. And the good news is that this trade is not limited to one aspect of the financial market. Anything you need advice on, you can trust the AI agents to do that. You're a forex trader, you need analysis on gold or anything. When you deploy this AI agent, it does that job for you. But what does it take to deploy the agent? You have to acquire our internal token, which is SAC token, and then use it to feed the AI agents to go and perform the task for you. Revenue being generated right there. This revenue is added to the earlier platform I talked about, which is the economic model, to increase the sources of revenue, right? Now, the third one is the biggest thing happening right now in the crypto space, what we call the prediction market. Oh, prediction market is a topic we can even start talking about the whole week without stopping, because it has become something you simply cannot neglect. Now, earlier on, I was talking about finances, trading, all these things. Anything you can do as long as it means trading financial instruments, trust me, that can be done on the new thing called prediction market. Now, this is a platform I will call the crypto community platform, where they feel that, oh, have you been a forex trader before? Have you felt that you set what we call stop loss? You have money in your account, there is news, right? And then you set stop loss that maybe when gold price falls to 4,000, don't close my trade and then secure my account. Then you see gold price coming to maybe 4,200, not yet 4,000, but these exchanges or these brokers will close your trade in negative, right? A lot of people have accused these platforms of manipulating data just against traders. So it got to a point where a group of community members were like, okay, if all we are doing is just to predict, why don't we take it to crypto? Let's create a crypto platform that allows us to use our crypto to participate in some of these markets or some of these trading activities, ranging from sports, crypto, stock, anything, even politics. You can actually go there and monetize your opinion. And ladies and gentlemen, I am talking to you about a multi-trillion-dollar industry, an industry that has become so obvious for everybody to be talking about it. What do I mean by everybody? Take any of your decentralized wallets. Take Trust Wallet, for instance. Go to your wallet and you see Trust Wallet telling you that, oh, if you want to participate in the prediction market, click here. Oh, take your Binance. Go to Binance and Binance will tell you something about prediction market. They are making it easier for their users to breach over because they know that is where money is actually moving. It is an industry that generates several millions of trading volume a day, right? Now, this industry or these platforms are hosted by group of platform owners. For instance, we have prediction markets such as the most famous one, Polymarket. Polymarket decisions are or predictions or trading options are thrown out there in form of quiz or what is the other word? Survey, right? Where people actually go out there and debate their opinion. For instance, what is the price of BTC now? Before coming on this call earlier, I saw it was around $62,000, right? So somebody could ask a question. Okay, now that BTC is at 62,000, do you think it will get to 60,000 before 65,000? Which of these two do you think will happen? When they throw questions like this, you see people actually trading this opinion as a trading instrument. Some say, yes, it will get to 65,000 before it will never touch even 60,000. And then as they do that, they put so much money on it. Now, the platforms that host this quiz, they charge certain fee of the total amount being traded. And that becomes pure revenue to the platform owners, irrespective of the outcome of some of these things. And the monies we are talking about here can range into several billions of dollars. In fact, I would want to pause here a minute and maybe take you to what we call CoinMarketCap to just touch on few things around the prediction market for you. Now, I earlier on told you that everywhere you go, right? Everywhere, okay, so there we go. A while ago, BTC was just around 62,000, but it's now at 64,000. But when you look at some of the tabs on your screen created on CoinMarketCap, what you see is what we call the prediction market. And this prediction market, you can go in there and literally trade anything you think it is tradable. But on your screens now is what we call, there's one particular poll trending, which has to do with the FIFA World Cup winner, right? The question is, who will win FIFA World Cup? A lot of people have been, trading this debate, this question, and the total amount of trade that has happened on this question alone is about what? Look at the volume there, $4.2 billion. It sounds crazy, right? $4.2 billion has been traded on this topic alone. Now, this topic is hosted by Polymarket. So let me ask you a question. Take your calculators and punch with me. Assuming that Polymarket is going to charge 2% of the total traded volume of 4.2 billion, imagine the direct raw revenue they're going to fetch from this topic alone. That runs into several millions. You agree with me, right? And that is just one out of many. Even if you go to check new posts that are coming, you see so many posts. The Premier League coming up, the Bundesliga, whatever league you want to talk about. You check the amounts or the trading volume that are attached to it, several millions of dollars. Look at this, $4.3 million. Look at this new one here, $842,000. That is $13,000 just created, today, and it keeps going on and on and on. You can even do politics, go to politics, and then look at questions like, this is Ethiopia anyway. They say, who becomes the next prime minister of Ethiopia? And then you see people voting. So far, $208 million has been thrown on that particular, topic alone, right? What would be the fair decision in July? And you can see over $1 million, $69 million so far has been thrown into that. And whether there will be change, whether there will be no change, and all, people are actually voting. So anything you can think about is being traded on this new platform called prediction market, right? And the world have just seen the volume is moving a day in every 24 hours. Is unbelievable, but it has become the thing of today. So Shadow's Claw is also coming up with its own prediction market. This prediction market even becomes more easier when the AI agent is deployed on it, because it is able to look through all this market. It is not just looking for where money is going, but it's actually looking for some of the what we call arbitrage opportunities available, because it's not going to just stick to their market. Let's say we have poly market. We have the same question, who wins World Cup? And then we have the Shadow's Claw market, who wins World Cup. Then we have what we call the odds, or the multiplier, the bonus multiplier put on all these options. This bot is able to read to see the price differentials between these two same or similar outcomes, and then place trade. That will mean that irrespective of whichever it goes, at the end of the day, you will make profit without suffering any loss. This bot is able to do that on our platform and any other platform. So revenue being generated from this side, together with the direct revenue from the AI agent subscription, and then all this channeled back to the liquidity pool to support its operations in the long run. That is not all. As we speak, our SPay our SPay cards are out, where users, especially in areas where crypto usage is not friendly, if you have not dealt with international friends before, you don't know the hustle some people go through to acquire crypto to even join some of these projects, right? I have been dealing with a lot of people out there who struggle. They struggle just to acquire crypto, and then sometimes the outrageous fees they have to incur just to acquire crypto in order to participate in some of these things. And then at the end of the day, when they manage to even make something, swapping it back or converting it back into their local currencies to use becomes a problem, right? Shadow's Claw has actually just launched its own SPay, which allows you to order for either virtual or physical cards, and then move our internal token or USDT into this, carry it anywhere in the world, and then spend freely without the need for going through or converting these two into your bank account. And while doing that, it also generates extra revenue from all these card issuance, transaction fees here and there. All this revenue, the system mobilizes or entrusts it to the liquidity pool or the treasury to ensure that whatever you put in, you are able to actually benefit from it, right? So how does all this thing actually matters to you? First of all, before I go into that, just like any ecosystem, Shadow's Claw, we have our own internal currency, or our own currency, which is called the SAC, right? This SAC is currently trading, and it is, I'm proud to say it is also listed here on CoinMarketCap right from day one. And you can actually go to CoinMarketCap, just look for SAC. Look for SAC, and then you realize that this is the token here, right here, with a total market cap of $88.93 million, right? And the current trading value being around $27.3 ever since it was launched some 50 something, I think 53, 54 days ago. And one very unique thing you can see on your screen is the price stability that has been put in place, mechanism to ensure that the token price remains relatively stable, irrespective of the prevailing market condition, whether market is going green or market is going red. Mechanisms have been put in place to ensure that this token remains stable, relatively stable over a long period of time. So how does all these things actually, concerns you? Why are we talking about all these things to you now? Because the earlier model of being a liquidity provider to this platform has just been, that opportunity has just been handed over to you by Shadow's Claw. Looking at all the measures put in place to generate revenue to ensure that trading activities go on, you now want to be part of those who are promoting or who are actually, providing liquidity to the program by staking your USDT and receiving returns every 12 hours and then set over a certain fixed period over time, right? So the opportunity here is that you have the opportunity to stake your USDT and receive rewards. There are two separate reward or staking mechanisms or staking options available for you. The first one is what we call the flexible staking option. This flexible staking option allows you to earn daily yield on your principal or on the amount you provided, starting from $1 to maybe $1 million or $10 million based on your capital. Whatever you wish to provide as liquidity, whatever you put in there, at the end of the day, it affords you time to earn 0.2% on it. When allowed to compound over a long period of time, you realize that you'll be averaging around between 10 to 15% monthly on the flexible staking option. The beautiful part of this whole option is that your capital is not locked, neither is your interest locked. Every 24 hours, you earn an average of 0.2% on that staking. And it is the kind of staking that allows you to redeem your capital at any point without questions or restrictions. Now, we also have the fixed staking products. We have fixed staking products, which ranges from 90 days to 180 days, and then to 360 days, and finally 540 days, right? So the system allows you to stake and then earn up to 1.2% daily, depending on the particular staking period you are choosing. So let's take, for instance, if you go by the 90 days, for instance, it gives you about, on the average, 0.4% daily. But the only difference between this and then the flexible stake is that when you stake 90 days, your capital remains locked for the 90 days. However, the interest that accrue to you on daily basis, you are at liberty to withdraw. Guess what? If you decide not to even touch the interest as it comes, the system factors that into calculation, whenever it wants to give the rewards. And at the end of the day, it allows the system to compound the earnings or your profits or your returns, or what we call the rebase, over time. And that allows the magic of what we call compound interest to set in. And that is where the narrative always changes. It is not about the 0.4% or the 0.3% or even the 0.1%. It's about the magic that happens with compound interest. That is what is able to trigger ROI to go all the way, even up to 7,000 percent. Don't get me wrong. You heard that right. Up to 7,000%, right? I'll be taking you back to the app so I can show you the real APY for the term. And then we can use that to do a rough estimate in terms of calculation. And then when we are done, we'll also come back here and talk about things. So these options are available 90 days, 180 days, 360 days, and now the newly added 540 days staking. Now, aside the passive earnings of things, and mind you, all these things that I'm talking about, you don't have to refer anyone to make that 7,000, maybe 7,000% in 540 days. You don't need to recruit, you don't need to attend Zoom, you don't need to trade, you don't need to do anything. All you need to do is to stake your funds and then go as free. If at a point in time you wish you want to take something, you just access your app, your interest or your rebates is never locked, always available. You can go in there, take it if you need it. If you really don't want it, you allow it to compound, to grow nicely over time. And that is where the conversation will be based on. Now, aside that, this is an ecosystem that requires number. When it comes to crypto project, one of the most significant things that makes a project, very lively and very sustainable is the number of people who are engaged in it, not because of the money they are bringing, but because of the economic factor of extra holders, right? As we speak now, I'll take you to blockchain in a bit, if maybe my attention goes there, and show you the total number of holders we have. Currently, we are edging close to about 300,000 unique holders of this token. This is a token that has just been launched in less than 60 days, and we have over 300 active users, right? That simply means that we have over 300 blockchain, enthusiasts who are expressing so much interest in this protocol and have positioned themselves to either acquire the token or to acquire and stake at the end of the day. Now, aside that side, if you decide to refer friends, to invite others, you are helping in building this ecosystem. And guess what? The system actually rewards you and encourages you to even do more. There are two forms of rewards you earn here. First one is what we call the direct bonus, or the direct referral commission, where you earn 10% of your total direct team's rebates. For instance, let's say you invited Jerry. Jerry put in I staked some SAC. Let's say I staked 1,000 SAC. Then in the next 24 hours, I earn a rebate of 100 SAC. Now, because you are the one who referred me, the system rewards you 10% of my 100 that I make on daily basis. That becomes your consistent, regular, daily earnings as long as I keep earning, right? So it is one of those things that you plant a seed once and then keep harvesting it every 24 hours all throughout. And that is where the financial stability starts from. Your ability to have access to, already people are earning $500, $600, $200 daily just for referring others. Imagine if this continues and the protocol just started. This is a very long-term protocol going for many years. We've not even done 2 months yet. Others are already clocking 500. Now pause a second and multiply $500 by 30 days. That will give you a fair idea of how much others are making here. How are they making it aside their personal stake? It's very simple. They talk to friends about the protocol. We need the numbers to pay attention to what is happening. We need a lot of people to adopt the product and patronize some of these products from the ecosystem to generate enough revenue to throw up into our liquidity pool to support it, right? And then aside that too, we also have what we call the contribution value, rewards. Now, the contribution value reward is very different from most traditional Olympus-DAO protocols. In most protocols, they have set up what they call stages or ranks. So they have rank 1, rank 2, VIP 1, VIP 2, VIP 3, and all that. And you realize that the higher you climb, the better the rewards you receive. However, these people are of the opinion that normally those structures normally only favors those who come in early and start taking early position. And it doesn't really favor those at the down there who are actually doing the work. So they feel that there should be a total percentage-wise contribution base where the total contribution to the network, all of us, our contributions are quantified in terms of percentage-wise. And then whatever you directly contributed to the pool gives you same rewards when revenues are being shared. And for that matter, we work with a very simple formula. The formula is very this, and don't be scared, don't be confused. I'll break it down for you. you have what we call the weighted coefficients, then times your total team contribution, your team performance contribution value, divided by the total network contribution value, and then multiplied by the total rebase that the system produces every day, 80% of that. Now, let me start breaking this down from, from the end. The 80% of the total rebase here simply means when you stake SAC every 12 hours, every 24 hours, you are receiving certain amounts. So let's say the total staked value in the entire ecosystem is around $70 million as we speak. And let's say the system is releasing 1% of that daily. So 1% of $70 million, somebody should check for me, that should be around what? That should be around, is it 700,000? Somebody should check for me. Is it 700,000 or so? So let's say if 700,000 is being issued as rebates to the community, 80% of that value is actually distributed to those who created the community, right? So that is the global pool that is available for share every day. Now, we want to see your personal contribution towards this pool. And this is determined by your personal weight. The weight coefficient is the table you see below your screen. What it simply means is that any amount you stake from $1 up to $1,000 gives you a coefficient or weight coefficient of 0.9, right? If you stake above $1,000 to $2,000, it gives you 0.91. It goes on and on. 2,000 and above gives you 0.92 until you get to the maximum of 1. So let's say based on your personal staking volume, let's say in my case, I have decided to just do $500. So my personal weight is 0.9. So this 0.9 is actually put here. Then we want to determine what your team performance value is, or your total contribution towards the pool is. So what we're going to do is, how do we get your team performance value or the contribution? Mind you, you don't need to do this on daily basis. The app does this automatically and drops the reward. My job is just trying to help you make sense of how the distribution is done, so that you can know how to build your team, especially for the team builders. So let's say this is you at the top here, and you decided to, after listening to this presentation, invite your team builders, your big leaders you normally work with. And 4 of them said, okay, because we know Olympus DAO already, and we know how it works, and we see the potential in this project, we want to be part of it, right? And they all grab a link and start creating accounts, putting in their personal funds, and then inviting their friends to be part of this thing. They don't want them to miss out. Then they have been able to accumulate this volume under you. So let's say to your left, where it says region, is, let's say 10,001. Let me add 1 to it, 10,001. And then the rest all did 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Now, when you add all these 4 up, you realize that your total volume under normal circumstances should have been 40,001. But the biggest leg with that one extra is what has been quantified as your bigger region. And then the system now adds the other smaller legs, whether they are 1,000, whether they are 30,000, all the volume under the other legs, apart from the one that has the highest volume, they add all up together, and they classify those ones as your sub-region or your weak leg. Then that volume is multiplied by 1.33. So if I want to use this same figure for a sample, if you take out the big leg of 10 out of 40, and you are left with 30 out of the 40, now the system will add a 30 and then multiply it by 1.33. When you do that, you realize that you come back to 39,950, right? Almost close to your total team volume. Then that volume, that thing is done for all the team builders on the platform. All of us, our big legs are taken out. Then this same calculation is done for us. The volume acquired is gathered together to form what we call the total network contribution value. So they will just divide yours by the total value to determine the percentage you have in there. So let's say if at the end of the day, your total contribution to the pool is, let's say, 10%, When there's revenue to be shared, equity demands that since you have worked to produce 10% of the volume, you should receive 10% of the revenue. Fairness prevail. It is not about those who came first and had the opportunity to jump earlier will just be at the top. Whether they contribute anything or not, the system will keep rewarding them and keep depressing those down there. That kind of thing does not exist here. And that is how beautifully their reward structure works. So in a nutshell, this is how Shadow's Claw works like. Before I even land for questioning, I would like to take you back to the DApp. Let's look at few things at the back end, especially the earning or the reward aspect of the staking aspect of things. So what I'm going to do now is take you to, let's start with the fixed staking, for instance. There you have it currently, the APY, right? Remember, APY is a quote over 360 days or over 1 year. You have 220%, as your APY. What it simply means is that if you should stake your USDT in a fixed staking protocol or in the fixed staking pool contract, and you leave it to compound continuously for 360 days, you end up making 220% of your capital as your interest, right? That is just about it. Of course, your profit, your interest is not locked. You can always come for it. But when you take it out, that means that at the end of the day, you are delaying the progress of or denying yourself of the compounding effect. Now, when we take the fixed staking models, for instance, we have on top here the 540 days contract, which currently gives 6,505% returns in 540 days. Guys, 540 days here simply means 18 months. 18 months of stake. So if you stake a contract now, right, and though the APY, let me state, the APY is not fixed. Most of you this morning, you saw 7,200 as of this morning. Then later this evening, a while ago, before we came on this call, I saw it at 6,400. Guess what? As we speak now, it's 6,500. But the beautiful part is this. Every 12 hours, as you can see below the fixed staking, it tells you 4 hours, 27 minutes to next rebase. What it simply means is that every 12 hours, the system calculates, a certain rebase using the prevailing rate and then spreading it over the period to tell you how much you're expected to receive, right? So let's say if in the next 12 hours, the system is giving you, let's say 0.4. The next 12 hours is going to calculate extra 0.4. You realize that in 24 hours, you end up receiving what? 0.8% of your stake that comes to you as rebates or rewards. And those rewards are not locked. Then we have the 360 days. That gives you about 1,621%. And then the 180 days, and then 90 days, all available at your back end for you to actually choose from. So to be able to do this, you only need to acquire or put USDT in your wallet, the same wallet you use in registering. You put USDT BEP20 there, go to your account, come to fixed staking, scroll down, select the period you want to stake, and then your capital goes to work instantly. In 12 hours, you start seeing, in every 24 hours, you start seeing this reward in your back end. Also, from your screen, you can also see we have the SPay card, the AI agent. We have the AI agent here actually, but it hasn't been, the framework has been uploaded. The actual models has not been updated yet. In the next few days, it will be updated. So if you want to engage this AI agent to start work, it's just a matter of you coming to your account, launching the app, and then setting whatever you want to send. Then allow it access to maybe your trading wallet and few things. Actually, I'll be more practical when the other components are added. You setting it up to go to work, and then at the end of the day, it does the work whether you are there or not. And the beautiful part is that you don't always need to command it to go to work. Once you set up the parameters and it's already operational, it does the work. You only buy the token as gas fee, and then you push it to work, and it does everything for you. Aside that too, we also have what we call the give me a second. I'll be ending this course soon. We also have what we call the SP card, which allows you to actually own this very, very attractive looking business card, right? And order this card, it will be physically delivered to you. At the end of the day, you activate it, and then you can easily load not just your what's the name, not just your SAC on it, but you can as well put your USDT and then use it for trading. If you go to the back end there, it allows you to download and set up what we call the WPay app. And if you look at the currencies that it accepts, you see USDC as one of them, USDT as one of them, and of course, our internal token, which is the Shadow's Claw token, can also be loaded here and be used for payment. So it is a product. It is a project that is really bringing value, not based on hype or based on anything, but based on real economic value. Now, if you are new on this course, I know what is running through your mind. You'll be asking yourself, Jerry, are you really saying 6,000%? Would these people be able to pay? Do they have what it takes to pay? I know what you are thinking. So let's go back to CoinMarketCap. Let me show you a few things about this token. Now, okay, I'm coming. Now, first of all, aside the fact that the price itself has been stable, I want us to go and look at how much we have in the liquidity pool of this token, right? And on your screen, the only pair we have currently is the USDT stroke SAC. And as we speak right now, we have $60 million sitting in this liquidity pool, right? And now when it is time for you to make your withdrawal, it is not time for you to beg somebody to fast track or process your withdrawals. All these agreements have been put into what we call smart contracts. And these smart contracts have been deployed on chain and renounced. Even this liquidity pool that I'm talking to you about has been successfully, the keys to this particular liquidity pool has been bent or thrown to what we call the black hole. The black hole is just a system address that nobody has control over. And it is believed that anything you throw in there is not recoverable. For instance, if I decide to throw my USDT to that wallet address, it will receive it all right. But I cannot go in there and say, I'm the one who threw this money there, so I'm coming back to get it. The same way, if I have access or my control over a certain pool, and I decided to make that the host or the owner of the pool, it means that I have just let go of the right. I don't want to be too technical today, but let me take the smart contract address, and then maybe let's go to maybe PoolCoin or something to see what we can do. Give me a second. Let's go to PoolCoin and let me prove this on chain for you. First of all, the address I just copied, I'm going to paste it in PoolCoin, and then it should be able to bring down the token name. I know my time is exhausted. Give me 1 minute. As we speak now, total market cap is $130 million, right? But let's look at the liquidity pool and the holders in this. Once I click on holders, you realize that it is taking me out of PoolCoin to BSC scan. Now, this is the Binance blockchain because the smart contract was deployed on Binance chain. What is my business here? My business here is to query the system to find out who has control over the monies or the funds sitting in the liquidity pool, right? And here are the list of holders. Now, let's look at this. The first wallet address, which is the 0000 dead, what we call the black hole actually contains what? 97.9% of this liquidity, right? The black hole contains 97.9% of the liquidity, and together, the smart contract address that is responsible for minting or printing out this SAC token actually also has about 3.7% locked up. What it simply means is that all the funds here in the liquidity pool is not in the hands of the developer. In fact, the developers cannot come here and say, we have $60 million here, so we want to take some. So how does the money come out from here? When you earn your tokens, when you earn your rewards and you claim it and you go through the withdrawal process, let me be honest, the withdrawal process is properly thought out and well structured to avoid any form of dumping on us. In fact, it is so strict that if you are not disciplined enough to see the bigger picture, you may be asking so many questions. Why do I need to lock my funds here and then wait for 12 hours before I withdraw? All those mechanisms has been put in place to ensure that nobody takes advantage of anybody. These are rules that have been established. Now, having gone through that rule and you've finally received your SAC in your wallet, that is where you can even decide that you want to go to PancakeSwap and swap it. So now you are selling it to receive your USDT. That is the only point where the funds from this pool actually comes to your wallet and it's under nobody's control. So that gives you security and assurance, but you are not listening. I just said that we are less than 60 days old and we have about what? $60 million sitting there. So let's flip the conversation to another side again. Are you really sure if you manage to build your account and then you finally made some $200,000 or maybe some $1 million and the liquidity pool, which has grown to already to over $60 million with so much backup in the treasury contract waiting to protect everybody, are you really sure this system cannot cough out your $1 million for you? Think again. So that is the protocol called Shadows Cloud. You may not understand everything today, and I don't want to keep you waiting here. This, in a nutshell, is what we invited you here for. I'll pause here, come back to my screens, and if there are questions, I'll be so much glad to answer them. Thank you so much. And today we are about 85 on this call. Wow, congratulations to you guys. Let's keep building. I want to increase our Zoom capacity to 1,000 because I realized that Shadow's Claw is not very popular in the English-speaking community. In fact, when you check, it has always been our work, our presentation and videos making waves when you search Shadow's Claw in English. But don't let that deceive you. If you switch language to Chinese and you type Shadow's Claw, content that will blast your face, you'll be so amazed. So we are willing to extend the Zoom to about 1,000 capacity to accommodate the team, and we'll be doing this presentation every week as long as we are moving. So on that note, thank you so much. I'd like to invite a few questions. Let me start with Benjamin. But before Benjamin comes, I think Lion King should come in first, and let's take your thought before we move on. Lion King.
All right, thank you so much, my brother Jerry. You have done justice as usual. I just want to first of all congratulate everybody that has made it to this call, especially the few that I called on last minute and those of you that have consistently come. Today we actually touched about 87 people. This is amazing, guys. This is amazing. And like Jerry said, most of you think this is an African project. No, no, guys. It's actually us who are the smallest community on this project. The bigger community is from Asia, and they do the Zooms. In 1 minute, their Zooms are full, 1,000 people already on, and some people go on to YouTube and all that. So all said and done, now I want to explain something very important, that those of you that are African leaders here, I am appealing to you that charity begins from home. Everything that you're seeing in the market today, if you don't stand up against the scamming projects, guys, there is no way the market is going to change. It starts with you. Are we getting this, guys? So everybody that has been struggling out there, suffering, praying that they could make some money and they are failing, your time is finally here. We are not trying to throw jargons around to excite you. In reality, this is not a very exciting project, but we want to look at something other than what the scammers are telling us out there. One of the reasons these kind of projects have not made noise, it's because they have not been taking any African leaders on any trips out there. They have not been giving any free, what I would call them, packages. So because of that, most of our people have not heard of these projects. It is 6 years down the road, guys. Millionaires, silent millionaires are being created. And this I can tell you, I've been doing every day I sit down to read, to do research on protocols. Guys, yes, a number of them are coming up. If you have your money, you can distribute it in a number of them. Like the way we said that when Bitcoin came, people of Ethereum also showed up, BNB showed up, the likes of Cardano showed up. It doesn't mean that BNB or Bitcoin was not performing. No, it was. But because there is room for improvement, there is always something better than what has been created. So right now in the market, I can tell you that there is no platform that has been designed like the Shadows Glow. It's not there. You're going to see many of them, but this is one of the upgrades of the products in the market. So let's not waste time. Guys, even if you have $5, $10, start from there. Let it stay compounding and you will thank yourself later. So, Jerry, thank you so much for standing at the front. Guys, Jerry does not belong to the company. Nobody is paying him any coin, but his happiness comes from seeing 1,000 people on this call. That is where his happiness is, because he is a tool that we have. He is an asset, one of the biggest assets in terms of training. His information needs to be paid for, but he's giving it out for free. So when he sees more people coming here to get educated on how to tell a scam platform from something genuine, it is our happiness. So with this small community, I believe soon we shall kick the scams out of this market. Thank you so much.
So absolutely, kicking these scammers out of market is our business. So if you are connected to any of the leaders, please stay close, because we are about to embark on a movement, and this movement is going to make our region very unattractive to scammers. No matter how they flip their coin, they bring it, we will face them head on and then show them what our people stand for. It is not just with Shadow's Claw, but there is a movement my brother Benny and I are starting. In fact, if you are my leader, just reach out to me after the call and try to know. But hey, not tonight. I don't want trouble. Not tonight. After tonight, my phone will be off. But maybe from tomorrow, please reach out to me and find out how you can be part of the project. It is not this project. It is not any project in particular. But we are about to stand for what we believe will be good for everybody. On that note, I want to take other questions, but I saw something quite disturbing in the chat that I really want to touch on very soon. It's very, very important to me. It came from Maureen. Maureen says, my token pocket has been compromised. I have started building on it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Every time when we come on this call, we always talk about security. I think Leader Focus, if he had a chance to talk, one of the things he was going to touch on has been the fact that you see, this project is a long-term project. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years will be long enough to be reminding you of the pain that you go through every day, waking up to know that your sweat, your work, everything you have put in is going to the wrong hand. When your wallet is compromised, unfortunately, there is no way even the developers of the project can go in there and change the wallet for you. it is it's a very emotional and heartbreaking thing, especially if you are a team builder. Why? Because one, even if you're just a partaker and you stake your money, at the end of the day, the system recognizes your wallet. When you swap your USDT or your SAC token, it will go straight into your wallet. They cannot divert it to another wallet. They can't edit it. It's not a centralized system where even there is a support that can help you. And oh my goodness, I can feel the pain right here, even as I'm talking to you, especially as a builder. Now, if you are maybe a bit fortunate and this hasn't happened to you, this is where you take your personal security very, very seriously. The moment you download crypto wallet on your account, on your phone, guys, that is your bank. It is not every link you click on, especially ads. Don't go to Google and search for things. If you are looking for a certain website, make sure you pick it from source. There's a way these scammers will even code a similar looking website, which will redirect you. Immediately you click on it and they sponsor those things. So when you search, mostly they are the ones that come up mostly. You see the home and everything, making it look like it's the same website. But all you know is that once you connect through them, they have already compromised you. On Telegram, there are a lot of people who come to your DM and say, I have this business for you. If you click this, I can do this, I can do that. The moment you click, you are just giving away the privacy and the security of your wallet address. Secondly, the passphrase, the backup phrase, what we call the security phrase, when you write it, if you do not have strong online security, and it's even not advised, if you do not have strong cloud security, strong cloud security. If I lose my Google account now and I want to log in back to my Google, I know the layers of securities in place. Apart from my password, I have a phone that will give me notification. I have Google Authenticator. I have a third email, and I have to go through all these things to prove that I am the one logging in. If you do not have some of these things, do not take screenshots of your phrases and keep in your phones. Little do you know that there are so many apps that are spying on you. And some of us, we are parents, we actually, neglect some of these things. We hand our phones over to our children, and when they are playing games or watching stuff online, they see things popping up. They keep clicking, downloading and installing, and at the end of the day, compromising the security of our devices. Guys, please, you see, all what I've said tonight means nothing to me more than your personal security issue. Because when it happens like it has unfortunately happened to our friend Maureen, there is no way you can help. All he or she is going to go through is go through the next 5-10 years, waking up to pains of seeing his or her earnings drop into a wallet that she has lost control over. And these guys go ahead and they put how do we call it? They put codes on your wallet that any money that drops in there, it will wipe it out. SAC counts, it will wipe it out. You put gas fee, it will wipe it out. Even to be able to revoke some of these things, the funny part is that you need to put some BNB in there to be able to go and use all these apps that allows you to revoke them, right? Now, immediately you put a BNB, they will still take it out, preventing you the right to even redeem some of these things, and it's very heartbreaking. So I'm sorry, my friend Maureen. It's very heartbreaking, but there is nothing that we can do. However, don't let that, don't let that kill your zeal. Our greatest glory is always not in the number of times we fall or the falling, but it's about how we are able to shake it off, dust it off, tell ourselves we go again, right? Going again simply means that start all over again, find a way, correct the mistakes you've done, whatever may have led to this, you may not even know, but correct some of these mistakes, get a link. Thankfully, Shadow's Claw is just 50 days old. You can start now and still build to recover whatever you may have lost due to the wallet compromise. And please, if you do not know where your passphrase is, this is a reminder. Grab your phone, look through your diaries. Where have you kept it? If you can't find it, this is the best opportunity now that you have access to your device. If you are using Token Pocket, just go to the app, and then while in your Token Pocket, you will see at the extreme top right, you see 3 dotted lines on the particular wallet. Click on that wallet and click on Export Recovery Phrase. Export recovery phrase. I think I need to demonstrate something like that so that you can go back and be triple sure you have nicely written it down. Please, my friends, all these things we are saying will be meaningless if you do not actually take these things serious. So right on the extreme right of the blue side of the screen, you see these 3 dotted lines, and then you see what's the name? Export recovery phrase, or even your private phrase. Copy it nicely and then keep it in your, in a place, in a safe place that will not be exposed to anyone, so that you do not lose what is the point? Lose access to what you have. It is a decentralized system. The admins cannot help. The technical teams cannot help. Jerry is very useless in this case. And unfortunately, we can only watch and see you lose on that note. So after that is said and done, let me come to a few questions. Let me first of all take from Benjamin. Benjamin, good evening to you, my brother. Please, if you can hear me, unmute yourself and let me take your question.
Yes, Jerry, thank you very much for this wonderful presentation.
You're welcome,
and
sir.
very good closing remarks from Lion King. That's quite encouraging, really. Yeah. My question, Jerry, is very, very simple and precise. I was in for when the other lady was presenting last time, and I just want to know the withdrawal procedures, because I saw she was talking about 60 days, then you guys are saying daily, and she was, things like that. People want clarity in that issue. These networkers, after earning some money, they would really need some money to move them around. So I just wanted to understand, yes, what are the withdrawal procedures, the urgency.
Although that question alone is a full presentation on its own, I would like to take you to my screen and find my possible best way of breaking it down and making it very simple. So I'm going to take you back to the DApp and then walk you through. There is a recorded video on how to make withdrawal. It is just 8-minute video. It has explained everything you need to know about withdrawal. It is there in our groups. I keep posting it. I think it will do you a lot of good. However, just as you ask, let me come to, let's say, contribution. Let's say I am a team builder, and like you rightly pointed out, every day you want access to something to be moving around with. So when you come here on daily basis, below your screen where you see in green 0.000 something SAC, that is where your daily contribution reward comes. Now, when you want to withdraw this contribution rewards, there are 5 withdrawal windows, like options available to you. You can decide that I want to withdraw everything now, going by 0 days, right? Where I just clicked, right? And when you decide to go for 0 days, what it simply means is that you are willing to burn 20% of the total reward. So let's say I have 10 tokens I want to withdraw, and I'm not willing to wait to give the system room to release it over time. I want all today. I'll just have to burn 20% of that and then gain access to it to go and do the 1:1 cooling and then swap it instantly, right? Now, if I decide that no, I don't actually want it in 10 days, instantly, but I'm willing to wait. I don't want to pay any fees. Then I can go for 60 days. The 60 days here means that one, you are avoiding any form of fee at all, and you are willing to wait throughout the 60 days, this token will be broken into pieces, into 60 parts. Every day, portions will be released to you, which you can withdraw. So if you look on my screens, for instance, you see there is this claimable. These are rewards I have chosen to allow to take over 60 days, right? If you look at the first one, I've already done what? 76% of the claim. And as it stands now, you see claimable is 0.01, the next one is 0.005, the other one is 0.005. And I can just come here and click on turbine and push them to turbine to do that, right? Aside that, I can equally also go, instead of burning 20%, I can say, okay, I want to wait for 10 days. And instead, I'll only burn 10% of the token, right? I'll only burn 10% of the token and then have it split over for 20 days or for 10 days, and then all will be released to me. So that flexibility is always available to you. There's something also very important. Now, you burning portions of the token here simply means this. If you look on your screen carefully, you realize that those of you who can zoom in, I'm on the DApp, so the DApp will not allow me zoom. Crypto wallets don't allow zooming. If not, I would have zoomed this figure. You will see that it will show you certain amount of WBNB that you need if it is 20%, it will calculate that 20% for you in WBNB for you to burn. If you don't have WBNB and you have that USDT in your account, you can either click on buy WBNB or go to option and click on swap. When you go to swap, you can now swap between maybe USDT, from USDT to maybe that WBNB. And at the end of the day, if let's say the system says I need to pay 0.0, maybe 0.001 BNB, I put it there, or let's say 0.001 BNB. It says it is $5. I'll now pay the $5 to acquire the WBNB. Go back to the what's the name? The contribution page, and then use that to release the token instantly. Then when I release the token and it comes to me, this is what normally happens. Let me just make it a little bit briefer so I can pick other people's questions. So let's say I have these tokens to claim, right? 0.01, 0.0 something. I will now move it from the redeemable to what we call the turbine. The turbine is the cooling off period that Jane has been trying to explain to us. Now I just redeem all these tokens. You see everything showing 0, 0. And now that I've redeemed it, you come back to turbine, and then you see the amount you just redeemed showing right there. Give it a second, it's going to load. But there is a video on that. Okay, so that is 0.02, SAC. Now, if I want to sell this token now, the rule says you need to provide 1:1 a cooling ratio. And so I will put the 0.0 into 1, and it requires that I buy $0.6 worth of USDT SAC. And then once I transact, it's actually going to release this amount of 0.25 for me right now to swap back to my USDT. And then come back in 12 hours, right? In 12 hours to claim. So in 12 hours, when you come to your screen, you see this vesting reading here. You see that it tells you countdown is 4 hours, 22 minutes to go. When it comes to 000, you can now claim this token, and then it goes straight to your wallet when you proceed to swap. So it's not so complex, but it is just that when she's explaining it, it makes it look so complex. And why do we need all these things? We need these rules to ensure that nobody takes advantage of any price movement, instant price movement. Because you don't want a situation where people are in the protocol, then they see the price jump from $27 to maybe $30, and instantly they just want to go in there and just swap to take advantage and bring down the price. So the rules require that if you want to take something from your rewards, what you do is to put it through the cooling system for 12 hours. And the rules are so clean and so fair that The moment you provide that, they give you what you are withdrawing now to swap. Then the 1:1 would rather go through the 12 hours for you to swap later and come back to the same page where you are without losing anything and still having access to all your earnings all in one day. Now, let me tell you what happens elsewhere. In elsewhere, you have to pay 30% of whatever you are claiming, right? After paying the 30%, you wait for 20 days. You wait for 20 days for your tokens to be released to you. Then when these tokens are released to you, while we are providing 1:1 ratio, they ask you to provide 1:5 ratios, 1.5 ratio is to 1, which means that if you want to withdraw $100, you have to provide liquidity of $150, and then that will also go through 5 days to be released. So if you look at the plus and minus, you realize that we have the best rule that can suit every condition. It's just unbeatable when it comes to how easy our platforms are. And most of you are in other projects, so you know what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. Let me take other question. I hope I've been able to help with the answer, but if not, I'll still drop the link to the withdrawal video. I took time to walk you through that, so you can watch the video.
It's very important. You'll drop the video on the group. Actually, I've understood when the other lady was explaining, it was
I understand.
it was very, very complicated and discouraging at times.
I understand. It is language barrier. And I think she's doing very well, because if you put me on a Chinese room and you want me to speak Chinese, voila. So she's doing very well. Thank you so much, my leader. Let's go to the next question. Yes, let's go to the next question. Simeon, good evening to you, please. If you can hear me, may I have your question? Please unmute your mic. Let me take your question.
This is Simeon from Nigeria. Can you hear me, please?
Loud and clear, my brother.
All right. Good evening, Jerry. Good evening, other distinguished leaders in the house. I want to thank Jerry for the comprehensive presentation you have made within the limit of time you have. Now, this is my first time in joining this call. One of our leaders in Nigeria invited me. So I have 4 short questions, please. Number one. You mentioned Olympus DAO, and then what's the relationship between Olympus DAO and the Olympus Club? You said Olympus has been existing for 6 years.
Yes.
This Shadow Claw is just about less than
50 days. Yes.
What's the relationship? That's my question 1. I don't know whether I should go to other questions.
Okay, let me take it one after the other. So Shadow's Claw have no relationship with Olympus DAO. The Olympus DAO came to propagate or prove that the protocol own liquidity is workable, and you can use that to empower millions of people. And they did that. A lot of people's life transformed. So the infrastructure they built, the rules they put in place to ensure that they've been able to sustain the program for more than 6 years. That is the model the Shadow's Claw adopted. And of course, it is not only Shadow's Claw, all the protocols that proud themselves with being Olympus DAO protocol are only telling you that the mechanisms they have in place, which made their program successful, is the same. We endorse it. We think it's fair to everybody, and we are going by the same route. So that is what Shadow's Claw is also doing.
Okay, thank you.
Let's go to question number 2.
Question number 2.
Yes.
I went through I did some research on the token. So I discovered that the first top 10 holders of the token, that is SAS, and they are holding about 98% of the token. So leaving 2% to about to 290,000 other holders. That is
Okay.
from coin market cap and desk screener. So
Okay. So let's go to, as you speak, I'm going to desk screener so that we look at it together.
Let's look at it. It's more clear on coin market cap. So, so that percentage, more than 90%, about 98%, being held the top 10 holder. Is that not posing a red flag, a threat? Because the tendency is there for these 10 holders to just dump it on about.
Okay, so thank you so much. Okay, can you hear me, please? Can you hear me, please?
I hear you.
Okay, awesome. So I think that's an important question you just asked right there. And on this call, we believe in, if you don't ask until you ask, you don't get to know the actual truth in all this. It is true that when you go to desk screener, you see we have close to 300,000 wallet holders. Then the top 10 of these wallets, the top 10 holders of the tokens are certain wallet addresses. Since you are already doing research, let me make it easier for you. What I'm going to do is that these are the various smart contracts of Shadows Cloud. I'm going to paste these smart contract addresses in our chat here. Make sure you copy all these addresses and then go and look at all these holders. The beautiful part of all this is that the top 10 holders are all our official smart contract addresses. Some are the 360 days taking contract address. Some are the 180 days taking contract addresses, and then the liquidity pool. So the top 10 you are mentioning actually belongs to what has been staked into the system, and all the smart contracts holding it are actually, let me see if I can, then I want to make a feature. Let me see if I can just turn this to a desktop side and show you details of what I would really want to show you on the screener so that we can have that analysis. So all these holders you are talking about are not ordinary wallets. Look at them. Against these wallets are what we call contract addresses. Click on view and compare those addresses to what I have pasted here, and that will give you the clarity and assurance that this token is not in the hands of the developers, but they are rather locked up in all the various smart contract addresses we have. That's the beautiful part of Shadows Cloud. I was trying to see if my screen was going to allow me to do that. I normally do that on our call. Mostly when I'm using, I just want the holders and then display that fact. Unfortunately, oh, come on, let me see something. Okay, perfect. I think you can do that here. There we have it. Now, this is what I mean. For instance, take the number one holding address, right? Which is holding about 50.3% of the token. What you need to do is to click on this address, and then you realize that as part of the addresses I just sent to you, this address is one of them. Secondly, this is the 360 days smart contracts address. And then this is our liquidity pool, the Pancake Swap liquidity pool, where we checked earlier. And against all these wallets, you see, when you see this sign, this one, like a book against it, is telling you this is a contract. This is a contract. So the top 10 holders are all known wallets that belong to the various smart contracts we have. That is what it simply means is that the remaining 287,000 people are all sharing together. We are all sharing just 1.99% of the total token supply. So now, you being a crypto person, tell me how 1 or 2% of the supply being in the hands of over 200,000 people can cause a dump of the token. Are you with me, my brother? Is that clear, please?
clear. So I go to question 3. Thank you. Now,
Thank you too.
question: what are the utility projects
Perfect.
backing, say, SAC?
Which means you may have joined this call late, because we talked about the what's the name, the AI agent, which requires people burning the SAC to be able to deploy it. We have the prediction market, which requires people acquiring SAC to participate in our prediction market, and then also revenue being charged in SAC, driving revenue from there to support the already known economic model of Olympus DAO. So let me tell you, Olympus DAO is, even without addition of protocol, other products or other liquidity, they have been able to use the protocol own liquidity alone as an internal product to run this show for over 6 years. These guys have added AI agents and then prediction market. Not just that, I went to the back end, I show you that we have the SPay, which is a global MasterCard business card that allows you to load this token and then use, therefore paying SAC as gas fee whilst you are doing that, and a lot more coming up. So when it comes to utility, it's countless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I through the liquidity and compare with the market cap, is okay. The liquidity is okay. Now, my last question.
And then if you check the liquidity pool too, there is something, I love when we are having the conversation that we do it in a way that even the ordinary person will understand. If you check the day screener again, and then you check the liquidity, you realize that when we have $29 million of USDT liquidity, we actually also have $29 million worth of the SAC also locked up there. That is to tell you that what we call RVF, right, is one token which is minted is automatically backed with 1 USDT. What that means is that it also gives you room to audit the amount of token in supply. If the developers can go behind the scene and print new tokens, the smart contract requires that whenever it prints token to reward somebody, it is represented by 1 USDT, which automatically transfers to the pool. So when you check the pool, you see that if you have 30 million in USDT, we also have 30 million in the SAC to give you that transparency and accountability at every cost. Once you start to embrace these technicalities, you know that you are in a project that embraces transparency and then has set itself up for easy auditing without hiding anything behind the scenes.
All right, thank you. My last question.
Yes, let's go.
It's borders on sustainability. And that is very fundamental and key to me. I've gone through the report. I saw that the liquidity pool is locked and even bonds, so sent to the.
Yes, it's not locked, it is burnt permanently.
Yes, I saw that. So that is fantastic. And also that about 6 smart contracts are working in harmony, to integrated and working in harmony, the treasury and the other, to the last one. Now, it is the renunciation of the liquidity pool that we had reported. But I didn't read anywhere whether the other smart contract, like the treasury, like that of the sale, like that of the staking,
I have access to this same report you are referring to. And until you understand the architectural layout of Shadow's Claw, when I started my presentation, I mentioned that a lot of things will be added. As we speak now, the AI agent, only the framework has been deployed. The actual bot that responds to our needs has not been deployed yet, right? That means that there's still a room for the developers to put whatever they are putting. And this week, we woke up to the SPay card being deployed, right? With the app to download and all that. The prediction market has still not been added yet. So it will be very unwise on their part when they haven't put all these things together before establishing the DAO governance, and then they go ahead to renounce those aspects of the smart contract. So when they do that now, how then do they come back to add what they need to add? So once they need that room, that is where we have to hold them by their neck and say, okay, since you need that room to operate, where the funds are kept, the liquidity pool, first of all, we want that security and assurance that you don't own it. You don't have control over it. So go and burn it. And guess what? They burnt it. The actual smart contract concerning the token, which is the SAC token, you know, that is the engine of all the things we are doing. That smart contract on its own should also be renounced completely with no further control. And they have done that. What that means to investors is that the critical areas of potential manipulation through the token or the main smart contract have been let go of. Now, once they add up all the other crucial aspects of the ecosystem, like the prediction market and everything, DAO governance will be established. Once DAO governance is established, then they will make the global core. They actually also planning to do that on Binance Square, where everybody will be on that core. Then they do the final renunciation of all the. Actually, there are 6 main smart contracts, like the report has said, but I can tell you on authority that there are 153 different smart contracts that work together to form the ecosystem. So they will do the global renunciation, which will cover all the other aspects of the smart contract since they are linked together. So that is how beautifully the architecture has been put. And because they need to work, then we need to secure the pairs, and then when the token is being minted for. And as far as you and I know, those aspects have been fully taken care of, and then we have nothing to worry about.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jerry.
Thank you, my leader. I hope I've been very useful with my responses.
Thank you.
Okay, let's come back to other questions. Simeon, thank you so much for the technical thing. Tony, good evening to you, please. If your question hasn't been answered yet through the various questions, please unmute your mic and let me take your question.
Yes, Brother Jerry, how are you?
I'm blessed. How are you?
Yeah, it's Tony from Nairobi, Kenya.
Oh, how are you doing this evening? Might be
I'm
quite
good.
late in Kenya.
Yeah, actually it's 11:43 here. Well,
Okay, so before you ask your question, know that we are coming to Nairobi with Shadow's Claw. We come to paint all the corners of Kenya with the colors of Shadow Claw. So definitely we will meet.
we will meet, brother.
Awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
actually, yeah, I've been in the crypto space for the past 7 years.
Awesome.
And I've been following the DeFi, the rise of DeFi of late.
Awesome.
And if I jog your mind a little bit,
yeah.
The way Olympus DAO came into the market, we all know what happened.
Yes.
SDNS came into the market, we all know what happened. Arcas was here before us, we all know what happened.
Yes.
But now, as Oko was conducting my analysis, I realized that all these DeFis, they rely so much on peer-to-peer, whereby if people are not getting into the system, their sustainability becomes questionable. But now, I was analyzing the shadow claw because one of the things that caught my attention in shadow claw, their cluster distribution, and I was doing that via Arkham, and I realized there are over 10 pancakes of supernode in the shadow claw cluster. Yeah, which is awesome. But now here's my question, because from the papers, Shadow Claw, they're saying it is fully on-chain.
Yes.
And now that brings me to the aspect of sustainability. Because if you say the protocol is fully on-chain and you're bringing in the AI aspect, which is off-chain services, So how is it that you're claiming the system is fully on-chain and there is AI aspect, which is off-chain services? And
Okay,
then
so first of
again,
all, yes, so then
let
before
me
you
let me
even,
let me just finish. Let me just
okay,
finish.
right.
And then again,
Mm-hmm.
um, why is it that yeah, you distracted me. There was something I wanted to
Oh,
ask.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Exactly. Why is it that on purpose we are only
Mm-hmm.
seeing the liquidity pool, the flow from the investors' money, but now
Mm-hmm.
we are not seeing how much AI is generating into the system and other
Perfect.
services. Yes, we
Perfect.
want to know how much is AI generating to the services, because we can
Awesome.
see the inflow of investors into the system, but now we are not seeing the AI volume into the system, because
Thank you.
we want the sustainability of this protocol.
Okay, thank you so much. So first of all, the AI is not an offline service. It's an on-chain service that requires you to spend some SAC to deploy it, right? Its activities, its trading volume, everything it does will be fully transparent on chain for users to track, to see, okay, in the last 24 hours, this is the amount of SAC that has been burnt to deploy the AI. So when we say something is fully on chain, it is the fact that everybody can see this and follow through, right? Secondly, we are not seeing volume from the AI yet because it hasn't started. They just deployed the framework now. And I said on my response to my brother earlier that the actual component of the AI is yet to go live for us to start using it. So when you go to the back end and you click on the AI, it doesn't give you room to set it up, to connect it to wallet, to trade for you and all that. All that component will come. Immediately it comes, you gain access to the live data on chain, and then the volume is adding to the liquidity pool would be visible for everybody to see, right? Then you look at the other product they brought, which is the SPay. SPay is a card service which requires you to fund your account online and then spend the card online. Fees are generated, transaction fees here and there. All these are on-chain based. So it creates that room for people to spend the SAC at will without the need to go to the market to do that. But while they do that, their activities can be acquired through the API and then transferred on chain for everybody to see. So with time, these are very highly technical questions you are asking, but it all borders on the volume they are generating. And these volumes will come in. Not only that, the AI, what's the name? The prediction market tool is yet to be deployed. And then revenue that will be generated from there will also be fully on chain. I just took you to chain to show you how much people have invested on the World Cup in let's say poly market. So if Shadows Cloud tells us that we are charging 1% of the total traded volume, and then we pick a question and they have traded $4 billion on that question, it will be so easy mathematically for you and I to sit and say, if $4 billion were traded, 1% of that 4 billion equals this. So we expect to see this revenue in our purse. If it hasn't come, then we query them. So these are the sources of revenue that will be used to support the program. Don't also forget that when you're also trading the SAC, there is 5% fee. This 5% fee also goes back to the system as revenue in order to sustain, every aspect of our operations, fees and fees and fees, burning and burning and burning. And at the end of the day, the system should be able to sustain itself for long. And lastly, other protocols, even without external or other sources, they haven't been failure. Let me tell you the question, what happened with Olympus DAO? When the protocol launched earlier and it was giving so much, you know how people behave naturally. People started jumping on the token. People jump on the token till it crossed about $1,000, right? I think it got to $1,300 at a point before reality set in. Reality is that there were loopholes that people could just sell the token without going through these turbines and all those things from the beginning, and that creates room for people to exploit them. So yes, they have achieved that success story of transforming lives of several many people, but the success story of not maintaining their token price over time has forced these new developers to say that, okay, you were very successful, but you failed to manage the tokenomics aspect. We are going to tighten this, add this, do this, and then still deploy it on your model, and it's going to work for everybody. And they've all been very successful. Take Horizon. For 1 year now, their token has been what? Stable. Take Sharp SAC. Ever since it's been launched to date, the price has always been in that range. Trust me, in the next 12 months, 1 year to come, don't even be surprised if you start seeing the token rather increase over time, because team builders, when you get to a certain level, you are required to burn, to keep burning, buy and burn. You don't buy it to stake to continue earning your reward, but you buy and you burn. You buy, you burn. Imagine 1,000 people, 100,000 people buying the token just to burn, just to pave way for them to make extra commission. Imagine the scarcity that will be set in place. Then thirdly, unlike all other models, the token generation has been made to have very quickly along the way. So the same amount of token that is coming as we speak now this is the peak at which you can see so much being coming in a day. It will get to a point where when the peak period sets in, the smart contract has to actually go to the market and even buy to give back, because it cannot produce more than what is actually required to pay the daily ROI or the rebates. It has to go to market, acquire, and then send to people. That will create value sustainability, and you should get value at the end of the long term for your token stake. So all these things have been properly taken care of, and that is what gives us the room to stand and speak for them. Look, I don't work for these guys. I don't even want to know them. All I want to know is the infrastructure that has been set in place and how it has been structured on chain, which you and I, you are a technical person, I am. We can attest to the fact that this really stands out in terms of all these things. So on that note, thank you so much, my guys, for having me around. I'd like to pause here and pave way for my other leaders. I don't know if Focus is on this call. Focus, please, are you here? If you can raise your hand, let me take some final words from you. My brother Aaron, I see you in the house. Good evening to you. And maybe call it a night. Oh, my special lady from Germany. Oh, my own sweet Madam Chini. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for staying up. Dr. Consti, good evening to you. Please unmute your mic. Let's take, oh, okay. Was it mistake? Okay, that's fine. So Focus, if you're in the house, you want to add something, yes. If any other leader wants to add.
Oh, I don't have anything to say. The only thing I want to say is what pains me is the one that his wallet has been compromised. I mean, this is very painful. When it comes to this wallet issue, please, I mean, Leader Jerry knows my ordeal, what has, I mean, happened some few months ago. So when it comes to this decentralized wallet, please don't trust anybody. Trust your own self. Even your own self, don't trust it too much, because when you trust it too much and you are creating the wallet, you just take a sheet of paper and write this thing on it, and then think that, oh, later on, maybe let me go to town and come and I'll write it in a book. And at the end of the time, you see, you forget when your phone spoil, or in Africa, you know what happens. Somebody can snatch your phone at any given time. And then whatever you fought for, whatever you've toiled for, everything is gone forever. So please, let's take good advantage of whatever we have been learning here through our leader, and then very straight measures when it comes to your wallet, because this is where your blood is. Money is blood. This is where your blood is. Thank you very much, Leader Jerry. Thank you for the very good, insightful presentation tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, my leader. I think let's create room for one more question. Reverend Bishop Emmanuel Ogba, good evening to you, sir. Please, if you can take your question and call it a night, please unmute your mic. Let's have your question. Bishop, please, if you can hear me. If your question is not taken, then you can unmute your mic and let's take it. If not, Francis, I don't know if you're ready. Please look on your mic, unmute it, and then let's take your question real quick and call it a night. Francis, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at the dashboard, I'm trying to use the calculator over there, and then I try to put in 3.5 stack amount, and then the percentage, the reward yield. So if I take it to the end, it's telling me 2%. For 6 months, it's giving me 102,369.6. So I want to know how reality is this.
In terms of the APY you see, you think is too unrealistic?
Yeah, I even don't know how to, how to explain it. Because 6 months is giving 102,369.6. So I want to know, assuming I leave this my staking.
Let me tell you how realistic you can do this calculation. If you look on your screen, when you go to fixed stake, you scroll down, it will tell you the next ROI in the next 12 hours. Not mostly, it may give you like 0.4 something, or sometimes 0.5, other times 0.39, right? So let's peg it at 0.4. What it simply means is that every 12 hours, the system is calculating 0.4% for you. That's the ROI you are getting, which means that every day you are using 0.8. Now, use 0.8 as a daily compounding factor to plot whatever you are plotting, right? It is not fixed. It goes up, it comes down, but I want you to be very economical. So if I want to aid in that regard, what I'm going to do now is to take you to, give me a second, let me take you to the compound interest calculator, which is free online, and then do that short calculation for you to see something. So let's say, for instance, I'm going to use the calculator. I'm going to use the daily compound, and I'm going to put, let's say, 1,000. So this 1,000 every day, I'm going to be very economical with my expectation. Let's say 0.8, and it is compounded daily. And I want to leave it for, like, let's say 3 years, right? So what I'm going to calculate or to compound, and you see that 1,000 in 3 years is giving me what? Over $6.2 million, right? This is me using very economical rates. Oh, maybe let me not scare people on the call. Let me just flip it out to 1,100. Yeah, let me just flip it down. let me flip it down to 100. You use $100, you stake it and you leave it for 3 years, and you're already talking about over $500,000. And that's the one you're asking whether it is realistic. It actually is, because the actual magic happens with the continuous compounding effect. And guess what? Shadow's Claw is not the first protocol to bring out such ROI. To be very honest with you, there are some who even paid twice this over that same period, and they have been able to sustain their operations till now. They still have so much, several hundred millions of dollars still sitting in their liquidity pool and still feeding people on the daily. The power actually lies in the ecosystem and all these structures put together for. So yes, it is. So on that note, my brother Francis, believe, believe.
Because I have a lot of downlines, and then it's difficult for them to believe in this. This
so you don't need to.
See,
here's the thing. Look at the bigger question. We are less than 60 days old in this business. Those of us who started from the beginning, we can see the actual growth we have achieved. Just when we were about 40 days into operation, we were up by more than 50%. In 40 days alone, compounding effect is adding. Add extra 40 days, and you realize that we have already doubled capital, which is about to double the effect for the next 80 days, and then double it for 360 days, double it again. It is real, but the real magic is in the continuous compounding interest. Follow us on daily basis and we'll prove you mathematically how that is achievable. It has been achieved before. Many people on this call can attest to that fact that it has happened. People's lives were transformed overnight, not overnight, over time. And it is still possible. It is the same model that has been deployed here. And on that note, I would like to say thank you so much for being part of my Friday evenings. I really appreciate your presence. I cannot do this, especially for my leaders, without you. Now, there's one thing I need to clarify. I normally come and I do all the talking, but I don't do it all alone. You see all these leaders behind me, we produce it together. I am only the lead servant, and then I come to do the talking on behalf of all my leaders on this call. It is collective thing. Let's make it bigger than next week. Today we were 85 or so, 87 on the call. Next week, can we make it 150? Let's make it 300. Spread the news. Let's grow. It is catching fire. Position yourself and let's make some decent money at the end of the day. On that note, have a very, very awesome weekend and know that Jerry is always with you. Remember to plug in to our new project. It's called Project Kill Scam. We don't want any scam to come and distract people. We're actually going to set series of system up and then allow them to run over time, benefiting our community. Just reach out to me. Let's see how we can do it together. On that note, take care. God bless you. Bye.